welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making Texas Keto Cheesecake. I know, you're asking yourself, what's the difference between New York cheesecake and Texas cheesecake? Well, the difference is I'm going to be using pecans for my crust. Now, some people use walnut, some people use an almond flour and they bake it. I'm going to use pecans from Texas. And then also we have got the oil and butter. It calls for 5 tablespoons. I use 2.5 tablespoons of coconut oil and 2.5 tablespoons of butter melted so that it's liquefied. Then it calls for 2 tablespoons of a sweetener. So I use the Lantanko sweetener. The granules, it's a 1-for-1. And what I end up doing is I put it into my Vitamix. I blend it up and I make a confectionery sugar. I also use 1 teaspoon of vanilla and I use 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And what we're going to do is we're just going to mix all of these ingredients together and form our crust. Now I use a Himalayan salt. I don't know if it makes that big of a difference. I just like it. It's more natural to me. Then we just mix this up just really good. And you can see as it mixes, it starts to get clumping together. So we just continue to mix. Looks like it's getting pretty good. We're going to go ahead and let's preheat our oven to 300. This particular crust, you could just put it in the freezer, but I like to cook it at 300 for about 15 minutes because I like that nutty, buttery flavor that it will give to it. And we're going to use, I'm going to make 2 different pies, same ingredients, but since I've been making these, people have just been wanting them, so we've been giving them away, and we've been keeping some too. So let's get our springform pans. Now, as you can see, both of these have a liner in them, and I put those in there. I've done it both ways, where I've used a liner or without a liner, and they work about the same. It's just a whole lot easier when you do have a liner. So then we spoon this out into the pan, like so. And this really is tasty. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to push with your fingers. I like to start in the middle and kind of push my way around to get it. I want the thinnest part to be the bottom because I like to push the nuts. I like to push the nuts up to the edge a little bit. You can just smell the butter and all the ingredients that we put in there. Now I'm just gonna push it a little bit with my thumb so that it pushes the pecans up on that edge. Just a little bit more. And it doesn't have to go all the way up. Some people like that, and some people don't. Everybody's been calling me Chef Keto lately. I have lost 50 pounds since the first of the year, and I have been feeling great. Been eating healthy ingredients, it's been good, and even cheesecake. So now then, let's go ahead and put these into the oven and cook them at 300 for 15 minutes, just enough to get that aroma and that flavor into those pecans. I have had some good cheesecake, but cheesecake for cheesecake, this is probably one of the best cheesecakes I've ever had. I mean, I like them so much, I continue to make them. And once you do a few, they're super easy. Now that we have the crust in the oven for 15 minutes at 300, let's go ahead and make the filling. Now we're going to add the eggs very slowly. just one egg at a time. And we'll add whipping cream. And periodically, I just run my spatula down the side like everybody else does too, just to make sure that all the ingredients are mixing properly. And from the looks and the smell and the aroma, it looks like they are. And we'll add the sour cream. I don't know if there's a particular order to do all this. I've been known to do things wrong before, but I tell you, when it comes out, it is really, really good. Mix it up a little bit. And then I'm going to turn the mixer on just a little bit faster. I don't want to overmix because I've made them too fluffy before, if that is a terminology in cooking. It wasn't as consistent and it wasn't as thick because I whipped the filling too much. That is just looking extremely creamy. Perfect. But there's one true test to know if this is good or not. My little dog. Let's see. Oh, it passes. She gives it 2 paws up. I'm gonna go wash my hands. So you don't think, oh, he's giving away pies and cakes after he let the dog lick his fingers. The crust has cooled and we're ready to add the filling. Take a look at the golden brown that I was talking about, and the aroma is just unbelievable. All right, so now the fun part, spoon in. I just can't believe that we can eat cheesecake and continue to lose weight. And I am a walking, talking testimony of that. When you eat healthy and not eat all those empty carbs and empty calories, it truly does something for you. Now we smooth those out, and we are going to put some aluminum around it because we're going to bake these for 1 hour at 300 degrees. But since I have 2 of them, I'm going to bake them for 3 hours and 10 minutes. I'm sorry, since there's 2 of them, I'm going to bake them at 1 hour and 10 minutes. At 300 degrees in a water bath. Now, as these are baking for 1 hour, I'm going to go ahead and I've got a topping that I'm going to make. Once these cook for 1 hour and 10 minutes at 300 degrees in a water bath, I am going to leave them, I'm going to take them out of the water bath and I'm going to leave them in the oven overnight. Then I'm going to add a topping to each one of them and refrigerate for 2 hours before we serve. Doesn't that look delicious? I'm fortunate enough to have a pan that's big enough that both of these Keto Texas cheesecakes will fit in. Now, it doesn't say to add boiling water, so I'm not, but I am going to heat the water up some before I add it to the pan, and then we're going to bake them. Like I said, since there's 2 of them, if I had just 1, I would bake it for 1 hour at 300 degrees. But since I have 2, I'm going to bake it for 1 hour and 10 minutes before that. And then when you pull it out, it should be jiggly just in the middle, and then that's how you know it's done. And then you let them sit in the oven overnight out of the water bath, and it just does something for the flavor, just like normal cheesecakes, and they are fantastic. I promise you, you're going to love this recipe. So we add our water. Now for the final part of the Texas Keto Cheesecake. We're gonna make a frosting that's gonna go on top of it. We're gonna use it as a decoration when the cheesecakes are ready and after they have set overnight. So we're going to use 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese. Like I said, at room temperature. You got to get this good stuff. Don't throw that away. And we're going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla and 2 tablespoons of warm butter. Now we're going to mix these. And again, I want to make sure we get all of the ingredients. So we're going to push that down with the spatula on the sides to make sure we get all that flavor. Now I'm going to let this run for a couple of minutes. And again, we're not having an earthquake. I'm using my blender on top of a table. I said 2 minutes. I think that's close enough. It looks really creamy and whipped. We want to get all of this goodness on there. Don't want to leave any. I just feel that since I've been doing this, especially with this topping, it just makes a really sweet, really delicious buttercream topping that is hard to beat. It just complements that cheesecake. And to know that this is a keto cheesecake with about 350 calories, and I think it's right at about 3.5 to 4 carbs. It's all done, but we have to do the ultimate taste test again. Chica, what do you think? She's my little helper. Oh, she gives it a 2 paws up. So now what we're going to do with this icing is we're going to put it in a piping bag and we will frost the cheesecakes Don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I have experimented with so many different desserts. We are going to continue to post more desserts. So here are the Texas Keto Cheesecakes. After we've taken them out of the oven, we let them sit over. So these are the finished products. Our Texas Keto Cheesecakes. Look. I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Enjoy healthy eating cheesecake. And also my wife and I do marriage videos. If you text BRIGHT, B-R-I-G-H-T, to 66866, we will get you a free video and some other links that will benefit your marriage. Thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe to my channel.